So the Edge Tackle Float Mono basically says what it is on the tin. This is a line that we've developed fundamentally for float fishing. Absolutely beautiful line. Tell us a little bit about the attributes about the Float Mono, Richard.
Well, the thing about this is everybody has to bear in mind that nylon's heavier than water and nylon wants to sink.
Yeah.
So ultimately nylon should sink, but what you can do is by playing around with the surface and the treatments that you put onto the line, you can actually help it to hold up in the surface tension, so it will float longer than other lines because of its treatment.
Yeah, and I mean fundamentally this is a real line. I've been using it over the last season for all my river float fishing. We've got breaking strains from £3 up to £8. I particularly like the £3 and £4. That's what I tend to use most with my style of match fishing. So when I'm fishing on rivers like the Wye and the Severn, where I'm using sort of £3 and £4 lines, catching a lot of fish hopefully, the line itself has proved to be very, very robust. So it's not only smooth, so for casting it's beautiful, it's very supple. You know, it comes off the spool very nicely, so I can fish with smaller floats if I need. Obviously it floats very well, but for me, I love the fact that it's robust.
It's a very soft, very supple line, which means it's going to peel off the reel perfectly, especially when you're fishing a stick float.
Yeah.
It's still durable, even though it's soft. But one of the things that really helps it is the way that the line is wound on the spool in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a good point actually. We haven't mentioned it, but nearly all of the line on our spools is wound linear, isn't it?
Yeah, it's parallel winding or level winding.
Yeah.
So what you get is on our spools, every coil of line is one next to the other.
Yeah, we can see that really nicely on that.
And they're not laid over. Whereas if you get a normal spool, if you like, you can see how the coils of line are random.
Yeah.
So they're all going one across the other. And when that comes off, it's only a subtle thing, but you can feel the slight ripples where it's been slightly compressed. Whereas because every coil of our line is one next to the other, you don't get that.
Well, it's a really neat feature on all the line, and again it's just maximising the performance straight off the spool and onto your reel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've produced an absolutely brilliant floating line. I mentioned it's from £3 up to £8. We've got 5 different breaking strains and diameters. The breaking strain is very, very strong in comparison to the diameter, and as with all our lines, we're very confident about the accuracy of the diameter of our line.
Yeah, we've tried really, really hard to get the diameters as accurate as you reasonably can.
Sure. So that's really good. So that's our Edge Tackle Float Mono, available in 100 and 300 metre spools.
Yeah, exactly, because the 100 metres for a lot of people is one spool, one reel. Whereas the 300 metre is quite useful because you could get 300 metre spools.
Yeah.
Or if you're still fishing with a close face reel, you could probably get 4 spools because you won't want to put 100 metres on a close face spool.
Absolutely. Well, I've been getting 3 spools off one spool of 300 metres. I think that's absolutely perfect. On my reels, that's around about 110 turns.
Right.
So what I'll do when I'm spooling it up is I'll count the turns.
And you know where you are.
So I know where I am, and that works out really well. So we're getting great value as well.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thanks, Richard.